Uh, what's happening, guys? How's everybody doing? Press one if you can hear me. Press one if you can hear me. That's great. Shout out to Douglas Chunks, man. Douglas Chunks. Great contributor to the program. The greatest. Finished up my pizza. I'm ready to rock and roll tonight, man. I'm ready to rock and roll tonight. I'm ready to rock and roll. I've been in Syracuse all week. Syracuse is a surprisingly metropolitan city, man. I didn't know Syracuse was that big, man. Um, or I mean, I didn't know Syracuse was that modern because a lot of the cities I'd been to in upstate New York, like Rochester and Binghamton, they weren't modern cities. But Syracuse is a very modern city, man. Wow. Wow. Um, Salute to everybody watching, wherever you're watching at. Salute to everybody watching on X. Everybody watching on salute to my man Douglas Chunks once again, man. Supporting the channel, man, keeping the channel thriving, man, and salute to all you guys, man. Let's get it cracking, man.
It's winning major new developments in the case of the man charged with trying to kidnap the mayor of Memphis, Paul Young.
Yeah, Justin, the FBI is now involved in this case, and the mayor might not have been his only target.
What's equally troubling is that upon investigation, detectives located in the defendant's storage locker a list of names of 5 elected or appointed officials, including spouses' names and names of their children.
Well, at least he got you. He got assistant judge, so he ain't completely screwed.
Of their children.
You heard it from the judge. Police say Trenton Abston had that list with other city leaders' names, their spouses, their children's names on it as well. Yesterday, his bond was increased from 50 grand to $2 million after these new revelations came out. Police say
50 grand to $2 million. Who put pressure on this sister to make her raise his bond to $2 million? The mayor probably was home that night. The mayor probably was home and somebody told him, hey, you know the guy just bonded out. They're like, what? Man, tell that sister, man, stop playing, man. Increase his bond to $2 million.
On it as well. Yesterday, his bond was increased from 50 grand to $2 million after these new revelations came out. Police say Abston scaled a wall, went right up to the mayor's front door, rang the doorbell, wearing gloves and holding a taser. The mayor did not answer the door. Instead, of course, called a security detail and police.
Yeah, these are stunning developments in this case. We know a little bit about Abston. He's a licensed security guard. He does not have a prior criminal history. His family telling Fox 13 he just wanted to talk to Mayor Young. And we have just learned that he is due back in court within the hour and that the FBI is involved in the case, as Val was saying. So Fox 13's Dominique Dillon is going to be in that courtroom. Stay tuned for updates on this. Some stunning developments and revelations in this case. We thought he just wanted to talk to the mayor, or at least that's what his family says. Now it looks like this is widening this investigation.
And it's ironic. He said he was concerned about crime.
Right.
And that's why he wanted to talk to the mayor with duct tape, a taser, and other things like that. Not good and very disturbing.
Yeah, stick with us. We'll be updating this story throughout the day here on air and online.
Well, maybe he figured that was the only way to get the man to listen by tying him up. You know? A lot going on in Memphis, man. A lot going on in Memphis, man. Yikes.
AG in Memphis. This is News Channel 3 at 4:30.
WREG has learned the accused stalker of Mayor Paul Young went to his home to confront him about crime in Memphis. The question remains, confront how? Good afternoon, and thank you for staying with us. I'm April Thompson. Alex is off today. Investigators say when they searched Trenton Abston's vehicle, they found a taser, a rope, and duct tape. WREG's Brian Didlake has more on the developments.
They'll be looking at, the infrastructure. They'll be looking at the areas around to see if it's any breaches.
Michael Gray says that is what Memphis police may be looking at when updating Mayor Paul Young's security detail. Gray, retired now, was security for former Mayor Willie Harrington. His insight coming as 25-year-old Trenton Abston was accused of stalking Young's home about 9:30 this past Sunday night. Abston told officers he wanted to confront Young about crime in the city. Gray says that kind of reasoning sounds familiar.
When we came on the detail, there was some volatile times then. We had racial tension, and it was
Oh, shut the fuck up.
So much of whether the mayor is liked or disliked, that depends on what's actually going on at the time.
Investigators say Abston climbed a 8 to 10 foot wall to get to Mayor Young's home. The mayor saw him through a Ring doorbell camera wearing a hoodie and gloves with a lumpy bulge in his pocket. When unanswered, police say he ran away. Officers say it was here off of that.
Pause.
The mayor saw him through a Ring doorbell camera wearing a hoodie and gloves with a lumpy bulge in his pocket. When unanswered, police say he ran away. Officers say it was here off of Thousand Oaks Boulevard where they arrested Abston at his job, his vehicle located within this parking lot. That's where police say they found the hoodie and gloves he was seen wearing on Mayor Young's security camera. Not soon after, that's when investigators found other items like a taser, rope, and duct tape.
Yeah, man. Salute to Big Pete, man. He says, me and my brother in Cali speculating all week. What was up with you? Good to have you back, amigo. Salute. Yeah, man, it's good to be back, man. I was in Syracuse, New York, staying at a hotel, and the hotel Wi-Fi didn't support live streams. I could barely make videos from my other channel, but the hotel Wi-Fi was so shaky, man. I would have just been on here. You'd have just been seeing me. It has been a mess, man. So I didn't even bother, man. Salute to everybody out here, man. Salute to everybody. We back in effect with a mask and the tech.
Young, responding to the arrest, he said in part, political violence and intimidation, whether threatened or enacted, simply cannot become our norm. Memphis, we have to change how we talk to and about each other.
He can be loved today, and they got problems with him the next day because of what the agenda he may be pushing or what is voted on. So with those things, Ed, he needs the best.
Gray says after an alleged threat, updated training will be key.
So you want to be ready so you don't have to ever worry about getting ready.
In Memphis, Brian Ditlake for your news leader, WREG News Channel.
Man was shook, man. Man was shook.
New details now on a deadly shooting of a 17-year-old at Starlight Park in the Bronx. Police say the violence stemmed from an innocent water gun fight. But when the victim told the gunman to stop spraying him with water, that gunman allegedly pulled out a real gun and opened fire.
Wow. And listen, niggas play too much. Especially you young niggas. Y'all play too much. I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't know how I feel about this one. Niggas play too fucking much.
New details now on a deadly shooting of a 17-year-old at Starlight Park in the Bronx. Police say the violence stemmed from an innocent water gun fight. But when the victim told the gunman to stop spraying him with water, that gunman allegedly pulled out a real.
Okay, so the victim told him to stop spraying water, and the dude pulled out a real gun and killed him. Okay, so this is sad, man. This is very sad. This is very sad. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Got him in his suit. Even though this is probably not how we saw him on a typical day-to-day basis. It doesn't matter, man. He was gunned down for telling somebody to stop spraying them from water. Were there threats involved? Was it like, bitch ass nigga, you spray me again, I'm going to get my gun? And the dude was like, I already got a gun. I got a gun right here. Bam. I mean, it could have been that. There's a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of nigga shit.
Gun and opened fire. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlos spoke with the teen's heartbroken mother, who says this is not the first time she's experienced a devastating loss due to gun violence. Anthony's live in Soundview with more. Anthony.
Lauren, it's not often that you meet a mother who's lost both sons to gun violence. That, unfortunately, is the case here. Many times we speak with a family after they've lost a loved one to gun violence, and they don't have the strength nor the words to explain that loss. But this woman's words were striking. She said, I've been down this road before.
Wow.
It's what summer should sound like in the Bronx. But as many parents gleefully walk their child home from graduation, there are some who can't. Kelly Lewis is on her way to make funeral arrangements for her son.
He didn't have no problems with nobody. He was a quiet child. He didn't really go outside. So.
Wow. Poor mom, man. Lost both her kids to gun violence. Both her kids to son violence. So I guess when she had teeth, man, she probably was when she was young and had teeth, she probably was a looker, man. Sunman was all over her. Sunman was chasing her around, knocking her up, getting knocked up by Sunmen. Having these goddamn biracial kids. These son burritos. Both of them gone, man.
Kelly Lewis is on her way to make funeral arrangements for her son.
He didn't have no problems with nobody. He was a quiet child. He didn't really go outside. So that's the more shocking part of it.
But on a sweltering Tuesday evening in June, Miss Lewis says her 17-year-old son, Daryl Harris, the homebody, asked to go out to Starlight Park. She didn't think anything of it.
He told me he was going to the park because his friend was having a water gun fight.
Police say someone brought a real gun to that water gun fight. And when Daryl told them to stop squirting him with water, they shot him with bullets in the head and in the arm. It happened just after 8 o'clock. And shortly after, Daryl called his mom.
He said, I'll be home at 9 o'clock. I said, all right, make sure it's 9 o'clock.
And that was the last words you said?
Yes.
They say a parent should never have to bury their child. Miss Lewis has had to bury two. Her oldest son, Jamal Hunter, was killed in a
Wow.
shooting in the Bronx in 2021.
Wow. Another son, Brito. This is just sad, man. This is so sad, man. So sad, man. So sad. Poor mom. Just sad, man.
In a shooting in the Bronx in 2021. Miss Lewis might seem strong, but she's also numb.
I have to make sure my other children are well, and I have to make sure that I take care of what I need to take care of for my child that I lost yesterday. So I really don't have time to be all torn up and broken down because
Christ. Yo, that's so insane. Living in this jungle. Living in these jungles with these fucking apes, man. You got to have this type of mindset.
So no.
I have to make sure my other children are well, and I have to make sure that I take care of what I need to take care of for my child that I lost yesterday. So I really don't have time to be all torn up and broken down because that's not going to get my family what we need to get done right now.
Living in this city has only taken from her and her family as police now try to find her youngest son's killer.
It is kind of rough. They lost one sibling, now they just lost another one. So it takes a toll on the whole family. And that's what these kids don't realize when they pick up these weapons.
Yeah, how do you answer those questions? How does something like this happen in a beautiful park like this during the summertime? Miss Lewis says that an arrest was made in her older son's killing, and that person was convicted, she says, but her youngest son's killer is still out there right now, and that arrest is very important because police need to pick apart at this motive. What else did this have to do aside from a water gun fight? We're live at Starlight Park in the Soundview section of the Bronx. Anthony Carlo.
Tonight, a 15-year-old boy is now charged in the shooting death of another teenager in Queens. Police believe the teen shot 14-year-old Jamari Mazar in the head while a group of friends was playing with a gun. Tonight, neighbors talking to us about the young boy who lost his life and the emotion.
This is a different 14-year-old boy that was shot in the Bronx. Shot in the Queens in New York City. The last one was the Bronx. This one is Queens.
Scene that played out in the neighborhood. Eyewitness News reporter Safan Kim with the story from Jamaica.
There was a woman in a nursing uniform, blue nurse's uniform, screaming that she had to get inside to see her baby, her son. She had to see him. She had to see him.
Witnesses describe a mother's piercing cries, a pain so heavy she could no longer stand.
She was on the ground. She collapsed on the ground and she was wailing, and someone was consoling her.
Cops say her 14-year-old son, Jamari Mazar, was shot in his head and killed when he and a group of friends were playing with a gun inside his apartment. It happened last night on 161st Street in Jamaica, Queens. This morning, a 15-year-old was arrested and charged.
One of my best friends got killed like this, man. Adedayo Adeo, man. In 1993, he got killed like that, man. The dude who shot him, they kind of say it was an accident, but it was on purpose. It's an accident and on purpose. The dude was playing with the gun around his head, and then it went off or shot or whatever. But yeah, terrible situation, man. Dude got 1 year in juvenile hall too. 1 year in juvie.
With manslaughter and criminal possession of a weapon. Felicia Hinton is a neighbor. she watched Jamuri grow up.
Yeah, he was a very, very nice kid. Very nice kid. He would say good morning to me and, make sure that he takes out his mother's trash, like very, very nice boy. His mom is a nurse, very hardworking lady, beautiful woman, beautiful family overall. Her not being able to save her son in this situation, going out and, putting her life on the line and being able to, save people every day and not being able to reach her son and hearing that.
She's fine, bro.
And
She's fine, man. Philly, man. This is Philly, man. What's good, man? What's good, Philly? Why can't y'all do this, man? How come Philly can't never do this for us, man? I'm talking to you, Philadelphia. It's light work for New York City, man. It's light work, man. She bad, man.
And hearing that is just like a horrific thing.
It is still unclear whose gun it was. The boy's stepfather works as a security guard, but does not own a gun. Detectives believe one of his friends may have brought the gun into the apartment. Police are not releasing the identity of the 15-year-old charged because he is a minor. In Jamaica, Stefan Kim, Channel 7.
I remember playing with BB guns when I was young. I almost shot myself in the eye with a BB gun because I shot it at a brick wall and the shit ricocheted right back at me. I remember, most I ever played with the close calls was with BB guns. The ones you gotta pump them jump. You put the little BB in that jump, and once you pull that trigger, man, that thing.
This afternoon, we're learning more about the moments leading up to a gunfight that wounded a Marion County deputy. Investigators told us yesterday the woman accused of shooting the deputy pulled a gun out of her pants after she was arrested. This morning, Rihanna Hardin faced a judge charged with attempted murder, and court documents show us the deputy she's accused of shooting is really lucky to be alive in this situation. West 2's Tony Atkins live at the sheriff's office. And Tony, deputies say Hardin was searched repeatedly.
They probably didn't pat her down good because she's a woman. They didn't have a female officer on the scene, and they didn't want to get charged with, sexual assault, or she say something that they probably didn't give her a thorough pat down like a female officer would have done. That's probably what happened right there. Now this bitch is gone for the rest of her fucking life, probably. Stupid bitch.
Yeah, Jesse, and somehow this gun never turned up until they say she opened fire. And now a judge has her in jail, held without a bond, to make sure she doesn't try to hurt anyone else.
I was going to say, if you were to allow me to have a bond, then I would be able to maybe make a way to where I could pay for it.
22-year-old Rihanna Hardin made her first appearance in court on Tuesday after the Marion County Sheriff's Office says she managed to shoot a deputy while she was under arrest. She's now being held with no bond.
Flight risk, being from Bay County, it would not be appropriate to set a bond for you this morning.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office says she gave a fake name during a traffic stop. They also say she had drugs on her and her license was suspended.
He then proceeded to search all her pockets where he found the methamphetamine, the drug paraphernalia, and so forth. So he handcuffed her, put her in the back of his car.
As she was being taken, deputies say she was seen on camera fidgeting in the back seat, and she ultimately slipped her left hand out of the cuffs and at one point covers the backseat camera.
He did recognize this, pulled her back out of the vehicle, retightened her cuffs behind her back, searched the inside of his vehicle, placed her back inside his vehicle. And when they started for the jail, she was flexible enough to be able to maneuver her hands from behind her back to lift them up and grab hold of the gun, point it at him, and pull the trigger.
The deputy grazed on the side of his face, fired back.
If the deputy had his head turned in any other position, it could have hit him directly into his side of his head.
So how was the gun missed? Police records show Hardin had the gun tucked inside shorts she was wearing under her pants.
The reality of it is there's not always a female deputy available for searches. And he did do a pat down of her. He checked her waistband, checked all of her pockets.
Public Information Officer Valerie Strong says deputies are trained to do thorough pat downs and says a number of unique factors led to this, including her baggy clothes, small frame, and flexibility.
It's unique. It's not something that an average citizen can move and do. And it was just by the grace of God that the officer just received the graze wound.
Now, the sheriff's office here, they say that the body camera video from that shooting will be made available after the Florida Department of Law Enforcement completes its investigation. But coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a look at the type of revolver deputies say Hardin used when she fired those shots. I'm covering Marion County live in Ocala. Tony Atkins.
If you want to come up, link is in the description box. Link is in the description box if you want to come up, if you want to join the show, man. If you want to join the show, the link is in the description box. Wow, that little white girl she is something else, man.
Law enforcement agencies from across the region have teamed up for a crackdown on organized retail theft, and they say it is working. The initiative is led by the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office. Action News reporter Taronda Thomas live this afternoon in Audubon with the update on the progress they're making so far. Taronda.
Well, Brian, it's been about a year since the Organized Retail Crime Unit was established, and officials here at the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office say the first year was a successful one, taking down 2 big operations that focused on stealing huge volumes of merchandise.
To cut the head off of the snake in these organizations.
Going after the ringleaders of groups that cause chaos in stores.
These are often swarm-style thefts with groups of individuals who invade a store and move as quickly as they can to steal as much as they can.
That's the MO of retail theft rings identified by Pennsylvania's Organized Retail Crime Unit. It's opened more than 65 investigations and charged more than 40 people in the past year, recovering more than $2 million in stolen goods, including clothes, electronics, and food.
A very small.
Salute to Far From Handsome, man. Salute to you, man.
Begin with an Action News exclusive. The search is on for a group of armed robbery suspects who targeted people outside of a Center City club.
Yeah, take a look at this tense video here. You can see the armed suspects trying to rob people one by one at gunpoint outside Noto nightclub at 12th and Vine. Now detectives say they believe the attempted robberies were targeted and they want those suspects off the street. Action News' Walter Perez live at police headquarters this afternoon with the latest on what we're learning in this. Walter.
That's right, Brian and Sarah. The crime occurred very, very late at night when there were a few people walking around the area at that time, but nearby surveillance cameras were rolling, capturing very clear images of the people involved. This surveillance video reveals just one of 3 attempted robberies outside Noto nightclub last Friday night at 12th and Vine. You can see the victim, whose identity we are concealing, getting smacked in the face with the barrel of a firearm. He falls to the ground and hands over an expensive piece of jewelry. And investigators have reason to believe that the attackers knew exactly who they were looking for.
They appear to have been targeted due to the fact that they were wearing expensive jewelry. One of the victims was wearing a Rolex watch, and the other victim was wearing a Cuban link gold chain.
We are told the third victim was able to get away without being robbed. The question that lingers is, how did the approximately 7 perpetrators know whom to victimize? One thing investigators know is that 4 vehicles involved in this case were all parked together that night right here at this nearby gas station, including this black Audi, later captured on surveillance fleeing the scene. Then, as the victims crossed Vine to the parking lot across the street, the perpetrators approached their victims. Investigators say one was toting a handgun, the other pulled out an assault rifle, while a third was carrying a Draco-style rifle, very much like the one seen in this photo. Tonight, investigators say they are very eager to get the people involved in this caper off the street.
Thus far, there's no suspects have been developed and no arrests have been made.
So once again, a total of 7 suspects were involved in this case, utilizing 4 vehicles, 3 of which have been partly identified as that black Audi, first of all. Secondly, a Jeep Grand Cherokee and a black Hyundai Sonata. Anyone with further information is asked to contact Central Detectives. These men are to be considered armed and dangerous. Reporting live from police headquarters, Walter Perez, Channel 6, Action News. Brian?
Yeah, the video proves that. Armed and dangerous. Walter, thank you.
Yeah, the video proves that, man. Armed and dangerous.
Law enforcement agencies from across.
Armed and dangerous.
Developing tonight, a suspect accused in a deadly shooting at the Roosevelt State Park in Scott County is now charged with murder. Police say Anthony Boyd of Pelahatchie shot and killed 18-year-old Jatavian Johnson during a gender reveal party Sunday evening. 3 on Your Side's Chris Fields traveled to Scott County and has reaction to.
Niggas can't have a gender reveal party. Jesus Christ. Niggas can't have a gender reveal party without smoking somebody. Jesus Christ.
Tonight from a witness who saw the events unfold.
Well, those in the Scott County community are shocked and heartbroken, knowing that an event that was held to reveal soon-to-be new life ended in tragedy. And though it's unclear what actually led to the shooting, some people attending the park Sunday witnessed everything.
And out of nowhere, just rapid fire, just shots fired. Boom, 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 boom. And everybody started getting up, they started screaming, running.
That's how Jacob Howell recalls the chaotic chain of events after coming down a water slide at Roosevelt State Park.
We need to stop this. Violence is not the answer.
And others calling for a plea to put the guns down. Scott County Sheriff Mike Lee tells us they received a call about the shooting just after 5 p.m. Sunday evening. He says an argument started near the pool area between the 2 men. Upon arriving on the scene, investigators learned 18-year-old Jatavian Johnson had been shot multiple times during a gender reveal party.
And I had to keep myself calm. I was like, oh no, this ain't good. So I kept myself calm and I went over there and I made sure everybody was getting out. And I got a couple disabled kids out the pool, made sure they were all out.
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. Stop. Take a moment and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something. Grab a hold of you tightly. Well, like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? I don't know. But in a flow to the extreme, I'm like a candle. Without the stage, you watch it jump like a candle. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby.
Calm, and I went over there and I made sure everybody was getting out. And I got a couple disabled kids out the pool, made sure they were all out.
Johnson was rushed to a nearby hospital in Morton, where he later died. Police believed Anthony Boyd of Pelahatchie was a suspect in the shooting. He was later captured by police.
This is terrible.
Damn, nigga, you just smoked that nigga at a gender reveal party. You may have had to. He may have. Niggas got egos. Niggas got huge egos, man. Average nigga got a huge ass ego, man, and an outsized, outside image of his importance, and like niggas think whoever they are in their neighborhood is like the world and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's another contributing factor to a lot of the gun violence in Black America. Like niggas think they hot shit, boy. Some nigga who in the streets and did a little dirt here and there, that nigga has an ego like nobody's business, man. You got a lot of them out there, and they bumping heads with each other. Turns ugly.
Later captured by police.
It's just terrible. Everyone try to have a good event, show off the gender reveal, have a good time, then people just act up and start shooting. It's ridiculous. It's horrible.
Salute to my man, Far From Handsome. He says, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Salute to my man, Cap One in the building, man. Cap One in the Beezy for Sheezy, man. A lot going on, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. Sons can't even have a fucking. He said the average son man is an ego man. Yeah, average son man does not know how little he matters in the world scheme of things, man. Average, especially if he's in the street and he's, got some kind of street reputation or something, or he's in a gang, or he's just a tough guy or something, or or even just around, just from that type of environment. That nigga think he hot shit, boy. I'm talking about he think he hot shit. He think he old a lot too. And I'm not talking about this guy on screen. I'm talking about the trope of the black, quasi street, quasi neighborhood homeboy type guy. That motherfucker think he's old a lot because of work he put in his neighborhood, who he hang with, whatever crowd he with. Them niggas think that's everything.
Lee says Johnson and Boyd knew each other through the woman for whom the gender reveal was being thrown for. Despite the tragedy, Lee wants to assure all visitors planning to attend the state park that it's still a safe place to come to.
So, it's not something that normally occurs at that facility. So, I don't want to alarm people who are traveling to Scott County or going to the state park this summer that have plans. This we believe and know that it was an isolated incident.
Now, if you have any more information about this shooting, you are urged to contact the Scott County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. Reporting here in Scott County, I'm Chris Fields.
Salute to Barry B, man. Barry B coming through once again. Shout out to Barry B, man. Also salute to Deluxe 247, aka Calvert, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Got a lot going on here, man. Jeez.
New at 11 now. A terrible attack when a group is accused of throwing a liquid on and then beating up two men on Chestnut Street in Center City. The victims, both Marines. Actions reporter Brianna Smith spoke to them, and
two grown adult Marines ain't got shit on a pack of Sun teams, man. They ain't got shit on a pack of Sun teams, man. A wild pack of fucking Negro ness. Just a big ball of Negro ness. This is like literally. These motherfuckers are just primordial beasts, man. You goddamn two Marines can't handle these motherfuckers.
victims, both Marines. Actions reporter Brianna Smith spoke to them, and she's at police headquarters with that story.
These veterans say they still don't know why they were assaulted, but they called it brazen and
they don't know why they were assaulted, man. You're assaulted because you're white, man, dummy.
bothersome. They also say as Marines, they're taught to de-escalate, but they say nothing would stop these suspects from attacking them.
It's a miracle I'm still here.
This is a gruesome photo of Sean Toolan's head after he says he was attacked by these 6 suspects in Center City on June 12th.
I've been a resident of Philadelphia for the last 13 years, and this is the first time I can think of being, fearful of going to like Center City.
Tulin and his friend Robert Whalen are Marine Corps veterans. Both were walking home from a Ton Tavern Legacy Foundation board meeting to prepare for the branch's 250th birthday when they were assaulted. The veterans say they were in the 1500 block of Chestnut Street around 10:45 p.m. when the suspects threw water at them.
One got up in my face and I said, "Hey, we're really nice guys. Please just leave us alone." And that's when I saw Sean, get hit by the pipe.
Tulin and Whalen say these 6 suspects also kicked and punched them repeatedly, leaving them bloodied and bruised. Tulin says he had a huge gash in his head, a concussion, and broken nose, while Whalen was left with cuts and a black eye.
Even in that moment, we didn't want to hurt him. We just wanted to get away.
Now these vets fear for the next potential target. They say these suspects need to be held accountable no matter their age.
As veterans, we've gone out there and tried to protect the country, but then to be in our hometown and have to face violence like this.
I feel lucky that Sean and I weren't more hurt and they weren't hurt as far as we know. And hopefully they don't do this to somebody else.
These vets say it's also important to them to lead with love and to teach the youth right from wrong. They also urge the community to reach out to police if they know anything about these suspects.
Wow. That's absolutely insane. Jeez.
An 18-year-old girl is undergoing treatment at Temple University Hospital tonight after a shooting on Temple's campus. It happened just after 1 o'clock this afternoon here at Cecil B. Moore Station on the Broad Street line in North Philadelphia. Northbound trains bypassed that station as police carried out the investigation. As you can see, they taped off the intersection around the shooting scene as well. Tonight, police are releasing an image of the suspected shooter as they work to track him down. Action News' Walter Perez has the latest tonight.
The whole thing unfolded right here inside the Cecil B. Moore train station, and Action News is told the victim was an innocent bystander. Investigators have released these surveillance images of the suspect they believe shot and injured an 18-year-old female inside the Cecil B. Moore train stop. We spoke with people who ride the Broad Street line who say this case hits a little too close to home.
It's literally right at the train station. I'm going to be going here for the summer. So I'm going to be getting off at that stop. So it's like, yeah, what's going to happen to me?
Authorities say it all started with an argument involving the suspect and another teenage boy right around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Action News is told that's when the suspect pulled out a gun and opened fire. All indications are that the female victim was an innocent bystander. SEPTA police officers were nearby at the time, heard the gunshots, and were able to quickly transport the victim to Temple University Hospital. People who live and work nearby say shootings like this one serve as a sign of the times.
It's just everywhere, you know what I mean? And I hopefully and pray to God that they can do something about it during the summertime.
Anywhere you go at, it's crazy out here. I feel sorry for the youth that we got growing up out here. You can't even stand on the bus stop and think you're safe out here no more.
At last check, we're told that the victim remains hospitalized in stable condition. If you recognize the person in those surveillance images, please contact police.
Jeez. Salute to Eric S., man. He says, I got some friends who think sons have a ton of adventures. We debunked that. Sons ain't invent shit. Not a motherfucking thing. Not a fucking thing. Africa is still the same way it was a billion years ago.
New details in a deadly shooting at a 7-Eleven. The suspected shooter is in custody tonight. Philadelphia police say he barricaded himself inside a home nearby after shooting and killing a man inside the Tacony store. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Sheba Russell.
And I'm Jason Martinez. Witnesses tell us it all started after an argument that was around 7 this morning at the 7-Eleven on the corner of Torresdale Avenue and Diston Street, which led to police discovering the possible suspect on Tulip Street. Jennifer, another argument turning deadly here. How did this happen?
Yes, so the alleged story that we were hearing in that neighborhood is this argument was over the victim's girlfriend, and that escalated into the deadly shooting at the 7-Eleven, and then it turned into a police standoff in the neighborhood that required SWAT units to come in.
It's sad when someone snaps like that.
Heavily armed SWAT units and an armored vehicle took over Annette DeMichelle's Tacony neighborhood. She can't believe her next-door neighbor is accused of a deadly shooting.
Quiet. No, didn't bother anybody. I didn't, it was fine with me. Nice guy.
Philadelphia police say it all started at this 7-Eleven on Torresdale Avenue around 7 this morning. A witness tells us he was standing outside the store during the shooting.
A guy came out of the door, started yelling, went back in the door. They started fighting, and everything went haywire. As he walked out of the store, he was putting the gun in his waistband. But he's walked out like nothing happened.
Police say the victim was found inside with a gunshot wound to his head. A witness says the victim was there every morning playing video games with his girlfriend. Many in the neighborhood knew him and affectionately called him OG.
Hey, OG, what's up? He was old head like me, you know what I mean? We call each other OGs.
Well, everybody knows him for being friendly, for one. For two, he gets his coffee here every morning, and he's real respectful. He never has any issues, so it's like a little bit of shock going on right now because we don't understand why this would happen to him.
Police say a short time later, around 7:45 a.m., officers were called to Tulip Street, where the suspect ditched his work van in the middle of the road and barricaded inside a home on the 7000 block. SWAT units were on Tulip Street for over an hour, and our cameras were rolling when the suspect was brought out of the home and taken into custody.
He does not come off to me like that. No. Very, very to himself. Him and his daughter.
We're in touch with Philadelphia police about this homicide investigation. So far, they have not released the name of the victim.
Wow.
After spending 27 years, nearly 30 years in prison, Benjamin Cole got his first haircut from a barber today and had breakfast while sitting across from his mother. Good evening and welcome to the Fox 8 6 o'clock news. I'm Neil McNeil.
I'm Katie Nordine. Yesterday, Cole walked out of the Guilford County Courthouse with his family after he was convicted of the murder of Calvin Jenkins back in 1998, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. That is until the Duke Wrongful Conviction Clinic took a deeper look into his case. Fox 8's Gretchen Stinger.
Duke has a wrongful conviction center. God damn. Can they just focus on convicting people? The wrongful conviction center. Jesus Christ.
Spoke to Cole's sister and the attorney leading these efforts to free him. So, Gretchen, what led to his freedom?
Yeah, Cole agreed to an Alford plea, which means that he can maintain his innocence while also accepting punishment. Now, this will go on his record. But regardless, yesterday, for the first time in 27 years, he hugged his mom.
It wasn't until I knew, like, the second I can feel him, I can touch him, that's when it became a reality for me.
For the first time in 27 years, Benjamin Cole embraced his family.
And my brother survived this because of my mom's prayers. Even when he stopped calling, even when he stopped writing.
A jury convicted him of the murder of Calvin Jenkins back in 1998 at the age of 20, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Someone shot Jenkins in his apartment on East Wendover Avenue in Greensboro during what police said at the time was a robbery. But Cole always maintained his innocence, saying he was in Ohio when it happened.
It was brought out in court that the prosecutor at the time that prosecuted my brother withheld Brady evidence. Specifically, it was a receipt from the studio that showed that he had paid for studio time the day of this shooting. There's no way that my brother could have been in Ohio and come to North Carolina and went back to Ohio.
My nigga did that shit, press one. But he did 27 years, man. And, you know, hey, if I have no problem with them letting him out after he's done 27 years. But I don't believe that. That little story sister told, I don't know. That just sound, my spidey senses go up when I hear these long meandering stories. He didn't do it, right?
Brought out in court that the prosecutor at the time that prosecuted my brother withheld Brady evidence. Specifically, it was a receipt from the studio that showed that he had paid for studio time the day of this shooting. There's no way that my brother could have been in Ohio and come to North Carolina and went back to Ohio.
Cole's sister, Brittany Butler, was just 9 years old when he went away. And since then, she's dedicated her life to be his biggest advocate, going as far as getting a law degree.
I was sitting for the bar in 2020. And, you know, that's during COVID. And so, you know, we were at home. And throughout my life, I've written so many letters on behalf of my brother. One of them being Professor Lau, Attorney Lau, at Duke. And while I was studying, I got an email back from him. When I got that email, I literally fell out in tears.
It was attorney Jamie Lau with the Duke Wrongful Convictions Clinic who started this process and saw it through.
There's no evidence in this case connecting Mr. Cole to the crime. The two witnesses who testified at his trial, they both came and testified in May about how he could not possibly have been the assailant. And one of them, in fact, had told that to the prosecutor during the course of his original trial. And the prosecutor told her not to worry about it because she had already testified in the case.
Cole's sister tells us the moment he stepped outside, it hit just how long he'd been gone.
He used FaceTime for the first time. And he said he thought it was a video recording. And I said, no, baby, they can talk back to you. Like, they're seeing you in real time. So that was a lot. But I told him, you know, take your time and I'm gonna teach you how to use the iPhone.
Since Cole accepted the Alford plea, this will be on his record, but the clinic at Duke has been working to contact Governor Josh Stein to grant him a pardon of innocence. Now, this can take a while, so for now, Cole is just learning what life is like from outside the bars at the prison. In Greensboro, Gretchen Stinger, Fox 8 News.
Wow. I don't know if that guy did it or not, but I'm leaning towards he did it, and I don't care. He did 27 years in jail. But when it comes to those innocence projects, the wrongful conviction center, all these white people at those places, those lawyers, those woke lawyers, they're just trying to find loopholes and gimmicks to get people out. Like any little thing, they're not necessarily proving anybody's innocence. I don't think they ever prove anybody's innocence. I think they just prove that, you know, this piece of evidence could have been used during the trial, or judge racist or some shit like that, right? We rarely see them prove anybody's innocence to the point where anybody associated. Wow.
He would have given them the money. Reaction tonight from the family of Donnell Phillips after learning police arrested and charged a 17-year-old as an adult with first-degree murder while armed. Prosecutors allege the teenager deliberately ran over Mr. Phillips at 12th and U Streets Northwest last month in order to rob him.
We did this video. We did this video last month. They robbed this fucking guy. They just ran him over. That video. Glad they caught those pieces of shit.
Deliberately ran over Mr. Phillips at 12th and U Streets Northwest last month in order to rob him. They claimed the murder was the end of a short, violent crime spree that began about 2 hours earlier. News 4's Jackie Benson explains.
Donnell Phillips helped many people in his 55 years, says his family. They are still in shock at the brutal, callous way he was taken from them, run over, and left for dead. They're also shocked to learn the age of the suspect.
The juvenile system is I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what this, like, just knowing that it was a baby, like, it just crushed it, like, it crushes my heart.
90 security camera images were presented as evidence in the arrest warrant for Kyrie Young, 17, including many of a white 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe SUV with Maryland license plates. Police say it was stolen at 1:28 a.m. in the 100 block of N Street Northwest on May 7th, the morning Mr. Phillips was killed. At 3:40 a.m., a woman reported being nearly run over, then assaulted and robbed by people in a white SUV at 17th and Irving Street Northwest. At 3:42 a.m., a few blocks away at 14th and Newton, a man reported being nearly run over, then beaten and robbed by the occupants of a white SUV. At 3:49, Donnell Phillips was fatally struck, then robbed by the occupants of a white SUV at 12th and U Northwest. The arrest warrant photos put the stolen SUV at the crime scene locations, according to prosecutors. They show it stopping on U Street across from where Mr. Phillips was using an ATM while on his lunch break from his job as overnight concierge at a nearby apartment building. Heartbreaking security camera video shows the SUV striking Mr. Phillips as he crossed the street to go back to work. Prosecutors allege the occupants of the Hyundai went through his pockets as he lay on the ground, took his money, and tried to use his ATM card. Court documents say an anonymous tip led to Young, later identified by images from the ATM camera, security cameras, and a previous mugshot. Mr. Phillips' little granddaughter asked to be able to describe to us how much she loved him.
He was a nice man. He'd give you anything you asked for. He'd take the shirt off.
Damn, man. Black people only value you if you give them everything they ask for. That's the only way they value you. It's a very, very telling that black people, other than being funny and being the life of the party, things they value in people is people that give them stuff. Press one. And he's starting out young too, man. Salute to Eric S., man. He says, I have some friends who think sons have a ton of inventions. Yeah. Sons always like to be given stuff, man.
Off his back and give it to you if you ask for it.
The remarkably thorough 73-page arrest warrant in this case notes that Mr. Phillips, as he was on the ground dying, did something that would help his family start to see justice come forward. He told a food delivery driver who'd stopped to help him, quote, "I got robbed. They hit me with their car and they robbed me," something the delivery driver later told detectives. In Northwest, Jackie Benson, News 4.
Wow. God. Golly, man. So much nigger violence, man. Like, God damn. I'm not pressing on videos of black people. I'm not looking for black people crime. We're just covering crime. Black people are murderers, Jack. They're fucking murderers, man.
He was supposed to go to trial for aggravated assault. Now to new developments tonight in the week set his bond amount. To new developments tonight in the weekend murder of a Beaumont man. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office Warrant Division arrested the suspect, Larry Williams, early this morning in Houston. Our 12 News cameras were rolling as Williams was hauled off to the Jefferson County Jail. Newly released court documents revealed the connection between Williams and the victim, Brian Lewis. According to a probable cause affidavit, Williams was accused of assaulting Lewis in 2024. He was supposed to go to trial for aggravated assault next month. Prosecutors say Williams had pressured Lewis to get him to drop charges, but Lewis refused. Police say surveillance video shows Williams riding up on his motorcycle with blue gloves and a gun and shooting Lewis while he was out mowing the grass at a house on Delaware Street. Officer Haley Morrow says witnesses and tips pointed police to Williams.
This is just an example of good police work and advanced technology. And unfortunately, in this case, the victim was cooperating with a case against the suspect.
Williams is charged with murder. So far, a judge hasn't set his bond amount.
I mean, this motherfucker, he looked like he looked like he went to he wanted to go get some some food from a store, and then he got there and the store was closed. Now you got to go somewhere else to get something to eat. That's about how mad he looks about ruining his life.
At this hour, the largest bond we've seen in Southeast Texas, $10 million, standing between a murder suspect and his freedom before trial. Magistrate Mark DeRuin setting that high bond this morning while arraigning 53-year-old Larry Williams in jail. DeRuin setting conditions if Williams could somehow post 10% of that bond, including that he wear a GPS device, have no contact with the victim's family, and possess no firearms or ammunition.
Did you have a history with Mr. Lewis?
KFDM at the police station yesterday after Williams was arrested in Houston. He didn't answer our questions while police officers walked him to a waiting patrol car for that.
So the guy he assaulted in 2021 was going to testify in an assault case against him. And he was going to have to, if he lost the case, he's going to have to do time for assault. Now he's never, ever coming home. That shit is crazy.
Ride to the Jefferson County Jail. Brian Lewis was shot and killed Saturday afternoon on a riding mower in the front yard of his home on Delaware. Police say Williams had threatened Lewis to drop charges in a case last year in which Williams is accused of beating the victim with brass knuckles, putting him in ICU for months. Judge DeRuin set bond.
Damn, beat him with brass knuckles and put him in ICU for months.
Putting him in ICU for months. Judge DeRuin set bond at $25,000 in that case, an amount Lewis's family criticized.
$25,000 bond. Yo, people talk about Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Texas is the softest state in the union. Texas is pussy on crime. Texas is pussy on anything. Anything dealing with law enforcement or order, Texas is the worst.
Investigators tell us Williams cut the GPS monitor, helping him remain free until his arrest on Monday. The family of Brian Lewis is inviting the community to honor his memory this week. They're hosting a balloon release. It's going to take place Thursday night at 6:30. The location, 1985 Delaware. That is the home where he was mowing his lawn when he was tragically shot and killed. Brian had just gotten married 3 months ago. The family tells us he was a wonderful husband.
So this is the guy. That's a big guy too. He beat him up and pistol whipped him, beat him up with brass knuckles and put him in ICU for months, and then came back and killed him. Jeez, and both of them niggas would talk about like racism and the Ku Klux Klan as being their biggest problem. Both of them, the killer and the shooter. And the victim. Jeez. Y'all, listen. Salute to everybody out there, man. We back in effect, man. We back. if you want to join the show, man, you want to join the panel, man, link is in the description box. If you want to join the show, link is in the description box. Wow. So much violent. Niggas are violent. Let me just click on this one, then I'm going to try to find some white ones. I know this white guy right here. He killed a cop a couple of years ago, and he's going to trial. I want to see. Niggas are so violent. God damn.
Also, crime alert and a mother's plea as her son is fighting for his life after a shooting.
2 others also hit by bullets. Our crime specialist, Bridget Matter, is live in Fort Lauderdale with the search for the shooter. Bridget.
Fort Lauderdale police not giving us much on this one tonight. What we do know from one of the victims' mothers is that he was shot multiple times and remains in critical condition tonight. 19-year-old Richard Murray is at Broward Medical Center with critical injuries after he was shot early Sunday morning. His mother, Celeste Thompson, says Richard was shot multiple times while on the top level of this parking garage off East Las Olas Circle. He and a group of friends were out Saturday night to send off their friend who's about to deploy.
They were at their cars and, just dancing and celebrating her because she's leaving.
Police say multiple people came up to the group and started shooting. Thompson says her son was taken to the hospital where he's already had 3 surgeries.
We need someone to come forth and give us answers. We don't have any answers.
Thompson told us Fort Lauderdale police have not given the family much information. She says her son is an excellent student, attending FAU with plans to transfer to Harvard.
His major is business finance. He wants to open up Fortune 500. But, we shall see.
2 others were also shot and taken to the hospital. Police have not made any arrests.
And like I said before, I need everyone to close their eyes and just picture their own child celebrating something for someone else and just having fun, innocent fun, and open their eyes and get a call and say your child has been shot.
This seems to be somewhat of a teen hangout after hours. And that family, they have created a GoFundMe account. If you would like to help, just head to our website, local10.com. We're live in Fort Lauderdale. Bridget Matter, Local 10 News.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Niggas are violent.
Cobb police have arrested 1 man following a double shooting that left a Kennesaw State University student dead and a woman injured.
The shooting happened at the Bixby Apartments on George Busby Parkway. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us from police headquarters with more details on this disturbing situation. Angelique?
Disturbing indeed. Good evening to you both. Some of the residents tell us that they no longer feel safe in their own homes, and they say they want more security at the Bixby Apartments following this double shooting.
My heart pours out to the family of Jalen Parker because he lost his life in the place that we call home.
Bixby apartment resident and KSU student Martina Mays says she is flabbergasted by the violence that erupted right across from her apartment Sunday evening.
I saw officers standing outside my door and I was confused. I was like, what's going on? And well, your apartment was hit with stray bullets from the shooting that's place. And I was like, what shooting? Because I literally left.
Shout out to Douglas Chunks, man. Second $50 50 Ock Nation membership donations of the night, man. If you got a free membership from Doug Chunks, man, make sure you give him a shout out in the chat, man. Salute to Douglas Chunks, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. Hit the like button. This white girl, this black girl right here, she probably hell on wheels, man. God damn. She probably was running around the campus talking about the evil white man, evil white racism. She probably been tearing up that university. talking about evil white racism and what we need to do to stop it, how it's holding us back. And then this happened.
Following this double shooting.
My heart pours out to the family of Jalen Parker because he lost his life in the place that we call home.
Bixby apartment resident and KSU student Martina Mays says she is flabbergasted by the violence that erupted right across from her apartment Sunday evening.
I saw officers standing outside my door and I was confused. I was like, what's going on? And well, your apartment was hit with stray bullets from the shooting that took place. I was like, what shooting? Because I literally left 20 minutes before it happened with my 2-year-old.
Cobb police say 24-year-old KSU student Jalen Parker did not survive the shooting at the Bixby Apartments on George Busby Parkway, while officers escorted murder suspect Anthony Lockett to a police cruiser in handcuffs. Cobb police say the problem started when Lockett got into an argument with someone renting the apartment.
It appears that there was some sort of altercation earlier in the day between the suspect and the victim inside the apartment. The suspect eventually then left, came back with other people, had another confrontation inside the apartment, and then started shooting.
When the bullets stopped flying, Cobb police say suspect Lockett's mother, 40-year-old Antoinette Hammonds, was shot too.
But one of the people he brought back with him was his mother. When he started shooting inside the apartment, the actual person that rents the apartment returned fire. And in the course of that crossfire, the mother was shot as well.
Many say Sunday's violence was unusual for the normally quiet off-campus housing complex.
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. Like, everywhere's normally quiet until niggas show up. If niggas show up, it's normal for what happened. If you put niggas on the moon, okay, violence is going to go through the roof on the moon. What's up, Bill? What's going on?
How you doing, boss? I missed you last few days.
Yeah, I was in Syracuse, man. I had to
Oh, my apologies.
handle some business. Nah, it's a nice little city, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of riffraff, a lot of drawn-faced white folk, a lot of white folk there that's living that don't have privilege. But
Yeah.
the city itself looks pretty nice, man.
Yeah, the city's pretty.
I was shocked by that. You been to Syracuse?
Yeah, my family's from upstate New York.
Okay, yeah, I was shocked, man, because Rochester's a dump, and Big
I was
dump.
Yeah, Rochester and Rochester's definitely a dump. I've been there. I've never been to Syracuse though.
I was actually born in Hornell.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Syracuse.
What's that other spot? New Rochelle? That shit was dumpy too.
Oh wow.
There's a lot of dumpy up there.
Yeah, Syracuse is like the campus is beautiful. Oh my God, the campus, the school, but the city is downtown is very nice. Downtown is very, very nice in Syracuse. A
lot of beautiful old brick buildings and architecture.
Yeah.
So it's like the Memphis of New York, right?
Nah, I would say Rochester's probably Memphis in New York, or Albany, or maybe like Buffalo, somewhere like that. Syracuse does have the oldest projects in the New York City, inside in New York City, the old houses, public housing. But yeah, it was a lot of Negroes, a lot of housing projects in the cut. Like if you're just driving, you roll it past a project, and they look like projects. I'm talking about real projects, not high rises, but low rises, and a lot of low rise projects. A lot of niggas standing around doing nothing. A lot of white people looking like they half crackhead. You know what I'm saying? Half a meth head, and like a half homeless. A lot of white people looking like that. And,
A lot of rusty cars.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't see a lot of hombritos. That was one thing I noticed. I said, damn, where are the hombritos at? But a lot of whites and a lot of blacks. And the blacks, of course, they're just regular blacks. The dudes look like, any drill rap group, and fucking chicks, stress marks and fucking goddamn dumpy booties and shit and fucking hair weave and shit. But it's like, just any other city, but the downtown looks really nice. Very nice.
That caters to Kennesaw State University students.
I think it's scary for students living here, obviously. I don't know. They just need to be. The KSU Police Department's also
this Kennesaw State.
building, so that's kind of scary too.
Hey, that's sunny. Kennesaw State is sunny.
Oh yeah, I know my little brother went
Oh
there.
yeah, that shit like we used to play there, bro. That shit was like a HBCU or some shit.
Exactly. It's this type of stuff goes on. I think when they say, I think they're talking about this particular housing unit that they're shocked it happened at. But I've done several shootings on Kennesaw State University, man.
Hey, Kennesaw is a
With the
beautiful
seat in
place.
Clayton
Though.
County.
Oh, the city?
Yeah, the campus is pretty. The city is nice. They got the nice mall right there. It's nice.
With this evening, Clayton County police have a man in custody charged with murder in the deadly shooting of a 17-year-old boy.
That shooting happened Wednesday night around 8:30 outside of a Kroger store just off of Terra Boulevard. 11 Alive's Joe Ripley joining us live outside of the Clayton County Jail where that suspect is now being held. And Joe, you've learned more about the victim in the shooting tonight.
That's right, Jennifer. We did speak with a friend of the victim who Clayton County Police have identified tonight as Keadrian Gordon. His friend says he couldn't.
Keadrian. God damn it. Jeez.
Who Clayton County Police have identified tonight as Keadrian Gordon. His friend says he couldn't sleep a wink last night, knowing that the boy he spoke with nearly every day lost his life. A sunny Thursday afternoon for shoppers at this Kroger in Clayton County follows the shooting of a teenage boy just outside the store the night before.
I really feel so bad because I couldn't stop it,
This man didn't want his face shown, but says he got to the scene Wednesday night just off Terra Boulevard and found out his friend was shot several times and killed.
He was a real good guy. He was always giving.
Clayton County Police identified the victim as Keadrian Gordon. He was just 17 years old. His friends knew him as Key.
He's a good listener. He's a good friend. He had a good heart. And I still love him, man. I love him because I spoke to him every day, almost every day.
Within hours, police arrested Yahiko West and charged him with malice.
Hey, they didn't say he was funny, though, at least.
No, that's probably coming. Yeah. What's going on?
Not much, man. I just realized you were streaming.
Yeah, man. Yahiko West. Yikes.
But will he give you the shirt off his back?
He would. He looked like he giving it to. He was.
Yeah, he just got the
He
shirt.
got his shirt half off, yeah.
Yeah, man. This guy right here, man. Shit, man. Say nappy hair, just like the last one. Said he didn't have a shirt either.
It's murder and possession of a weapon.
That was just somebody being in a dirty mode. Somebody just being a cruel bandit to somebody, just because you have a weapon or just because you want to be seen as the next big thing.
20 minutes earlier, police were also spotted at a shooting scene near Lovejoy Park and a Walmart. We're still working to learn who was shot and their condition.
Has an epidemic of youth gun violence, and it's just tearing up.
Sir, I was doing the same exact thing in your day. The same exact thing. There's no epidemic. It's just niggas.
They have these billboards up in Chicago now talking about how gun violence is the #1 killer of youth in the nation.
It's been.
Thanks to us, boy.
Yeah, who's driving that?
Yeah, us.
Shit, it was the same people that was driving when it was traffic crash and shit. It was a lot of fucking young fucking teens doing that too.
Telling you, man, we hell on wheels. God, we were hell on wheels.
He's urging men in the community to step up and help.
Same way you play Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, they think that you can hit a reset button and bring these people back to life.
For Key's friend, violence hit close to home outside the shopping center. Now he's focused on keeping violence from hitting home or his loved ones again.
To be a dangerous threat in the streets, man, you got to think about what you're doing to somebody. Don't let a conversation as simple as somebody calling you broke detour you from your life or make you detour somebody from theirs.
Police say tonight Yahiko West remains here at the Clayton County Jail. He was booked here around 1:30 this afternoon. Tonight, we're still working to understand what led up to this shooting that happened outside the Kroger last night, as well as if this one is connected to that other shooting that happened just 20 minutes before at nearby Lovejoy Park.
Probably not.
I actually looked this up. The black teen death rate year over year is 111 per 100,000.
Yeah,
which is an incredibly high fucking number.
That's
more than twice any other group.
That's a lot, but I bet you it's even more. Like that's what they giving you.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
And that's only the hits, not the guys that got missed, right?
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, it's the death.
Wow.
Probably 10 times that.
They don't even count the delayed deaths from it because motherfuckers die a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
They not doing the ones that be like probably fucking. Do they count? They count suicide on that shit too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So throw 35% of them out.
But the
Well,
leading
no,
cause
'cause
of death among black teens is at 40-something%.
Blacks don't suicide very often, do they?
Not as much as other groups, I don't think.
It has escalated since 2020 though, but it's still not as much as like
gliders.
Fucking the Asians do it more. Like Asians commit suicide like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
They let their parents down and bang.
Honor, man.
Got like a B+.
Right.
That'll do it.
Jeez, man. Okay, I think we got a white guy here. Let's see.
Tonight, a Milwaukee County supervisor calling for an audit after the release of a murder suspect from a mental health facility without warning. The county admits making the misstep. It's a story our James Stratton has been investigating for days now. Now, the question is why and whether there are other cases out there like this.
We were kind of shocked to hear that he's here, like out on the street.
He, Greenfield police are referring to, is Amando Lang. Police say they were called to his mother's home on Father's Day because he had a reaction to his medication. They detain him, asking him and his mom questions.
Sounds like you've been doing pretty good.
They take him to get mental health help, shocked to see he was out. Back in 2019, prosecutors charged Lang with first-degree intentional homicide for the stabbing death of Ben Christensen, a random attack while he was working on the side of the road in Greenfield. Lang was found unfit to stand trial. A judge ordered he spend a year in the Mendota Mental Health Facility in Madison, but no one knew he was released.
We would have never even known that this guy was out if not for the 911 call.
Right.
Milwaukee County Supervisor Kathleen Vincent is now calling for an audit of the county behavioral health services after the county admitted to 12 News Investigates it didn't give proper notification of Lang's release.
It concerns me a lot because it doesn't sound like this is even an isolated incident. As I've been asking more questions, it sounds like situations like this may be happening more frequently than the public or electeds or anybody is the officials. I don't think people are aware of it.
In an email late last night, Vincent tells the county director of audits investigating will help, quote, better understand current practices, identify any systemic gaps, and recommend improvements to ensure accurate, timely, and complete information sharing between all relevant parties. Vincent says the county is already investigating internally, but the audit will reveal if there are more people in this situation and prevent it from happening again.
So James joins us live in the newsroom. James, what's the process to move the audit forward?
Blake, the entire board must vote to
Why white crime so boring?
Oh, God. Hey.
Right.
With this evening,
Falling
Clayton
asleep
County.
over here.
Right. White crime is so fucking boring.
I thought he was like about to like fight the cops or some shit and like end up getting killed or something. Like he just said, "Hey man, you been doing better, huh?" Yeah. End of story. Like what type of bullshit is that?
Federal
Do something
prosecutors
exciting.
say he used his former bar to distribute drugs in Milwaukee. He and 12 other men are now charged.
It's a story Bill Miston's been following for months now, and prosecutors say it spanned from Milwaukee to a Mexican drug cartel.
Monday afternoon, some fresh paint was being slapped on the former Bar 1000 near 21st and Teutonia.
My name's Bill. I'm with Channel 6. You guys know Tim?
The bar and building
You know Tim?
was run and owned by this man.
Timothy B., 3941 North Teutonia.
B appeared before a licenses committee last spring. He closed the bar last fall, but federal prosecutors say it was more than just a bar. B was arrested in April following a traffic stop. A brick of drugs was found under the hood. Filings say he was under surveillance by a drug task force at the time. When the agents raided B's former bar and soon-to-be daycare and West Allis home, between the two, agents found drug presses, pounds of drugs, money counters, and more than a dozen firearms, including a pistol with a switch and at least 7 drum magazines.
Court filings say the investigation.
So he was keeping the keys at the daycare?
Yikes. Man, good thing none of the kids got into it.
Or anything else there.
Jeez.
And they knew he was packing because it was under the hood.
Mm.
They don't just pull you over on a blinker and go, hey, pop your hood.
Yeah.
Magazines.
Court filings say the investigation into B dates back to September of 2023. Prosecutors say B used his former bar business in Milwaukee, Bar 1000, to traffic narcotics, distributing the drugs to other members that are part of the drug trafficking organization. But prosecutors say B got those drugs from a father and son in a Chicago suburb, which ultimately sourced the drugs from the Sinaloa cartel.
After B's arrest, he was charged with federal drug and gun charges. That was dismissed earlier this month. But last week, the feds charged B and 12 other men with federal drug trafficking charges, alleging that B frequently fronted narcotics, repeatedly supplied them with narcotics, and collected the money obtained from their subsequent distribution hierarchy. An operation, court filings say, that was under close watch for nearly 2 years.
Wow.
In Milwaukee, Bill Miston.
They fucked. They were getting surveilled for 2 years. Jeez.
That sounds like the Breonna Taylor shit.
Right. Jesus Christ, man. Fuck. Oh, here go another. God damn. So many fucking black teens getting killed.
Tonight in Clayton County, where police have arrested the suspected gunman who shot and killed a 17-year-old in a shopping plaza near Jonesboro last night.
Okay, so this is the same one. This is the one that we just did. Okay.
Clayton County Police responded to the Lovejoy Village shopping complex and discovered K. Adrian Gordon with multiple gunshot wounds, and he died at the scene. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes joins us now near Jonesboro with the latest. Deidre?
And that suspect, 22-year-old Yahiko West, is now behind bars at the Clayton County Jail. His arrest coming less than 24 hours after the shooting here that left a 17-year-old dead and a family demanding justice. Devastated family members gathered at a makeshift memorial Thursday before news broke of an arrest in the case. 22-year-old Yahiko West now behind bars less than 24 hours after the deadly shooting at this busy shopping center. West charged with opening fire on 17-year-old K. Adrian Gordon at the Lovejoy Village Plaza on Terra Boulevard in Jonesboro Wednesday night. Fox 5 obtained these surveillance images of the deadly shooting.
I was just talking to him earlier yesterday. He shook his hand and everything, the 17-year-old.
Insta shopper Troy Warren was at the Kroger at around 8:30 the night Gordon was killed.
Really, from what I hear, it was about nothing. Like it's nothing. Like no real like altercation, no real situation. Just talk.
So strange.
Witnesses heard 4 gunshots, then saw a vehicle fleeing the area. The victim and suspect did not know each other, but reportedly got into a verbal altercation before shots were fired.
I just wish, things would have been different last night. I actually wish that I would have came here and maybe he could just been around my presence so I could prevent things,
Gordon and this man, who asked us not to show his face, were good friends. He said nothing said in anger should ever cost someone their life.
He wasn't a man at the end of the day because he chose violence over peace.
Now, while there has been an arrest made in this case, this does remain a very active investigation. Anyone with information asked to contact Clayton County Police. In Jonesboro, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Deidre, thanks. We have.
Yo, I'm waiting on the next cut scene to be like later on that night. The friend. Well, yeah, he murdered 2 motherfuckers and took police on a high-speed chase. He talking all that shit. You was hanging with that motherfucker. You just like him. Guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his presence is going to be bulletproof or something.
Jesus.
If I was in his presence, it wouldn't have happened.
I mean, I get that, guys, to some degree, because it does sometimes matter who's around. Like, you know, because these arguments between sons, we're not talking about like high stakes arguments. We're talking about bullshit. So it's like if you a party that knows both parties, you can. I've done that before, where like, you know,
Put the fire out.
yeah, you can do that because the shit it'd be so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
they killing each other over like, you know, like big shit.
Yeah, he could have stopped a triple homicide over the argument about who
Shoes.
motherfucking
Hey,
whose
man, nice
shoestrings-
shoes.
whose
What the fuck you say,
shoestrings
nigga?
longer.
Yeah. So it's like, look at this. Here's another one. Jesus Christ.
Bringing a family fight ended with 2 teens being shot earlier this month, and our cameras were there as Milwaukee police arrested the shooting suspect. Fox 6's Bill Miston explains how this all began and how police finally tracked down the suspected shooter.
According to court filings, a 17-year-old boy came here to 14th and Chambers with his mother and sisters to fight another girl about a relationship over a boy. It was during that fight, filings say that a
Came with mom and
21-year-old man
sisters.
came out.
What's up?
He said the 17-year-old boy came with his mom and sisters to fight a girl. Who do we think did that?
Yeah, that's a son move right there.
Yeah, the other guy took his mom to a shootout.
Yeah, showing up with a bunch of women to fight some other women, and then some son man comes around from one of the parties and fires into the crowd. That happens so many times.
From between the houses and began shooting.
The shooting happened on June 12th.
And came out from between the houses and began shooting.
The shooting happened on June 12th and injured 2 17-year-old boys. Police found 4 rifle casings. Witness interviews led police to a 21-year-old man and his social media accounts showing him armed with an AK-47 style rifle and posing with it. Fox 6 isn't naming him because he hasn't been charged in connection to this case. But at the time of the shooting, the man was on community supervision after a drug conviction in Waukesha County and wanted by Milwaukee police for a high-speed chase last month. Cops ran the suspect's phone number through the jail phone system and found a call from last week. In the recorded call, the suspect said, "I'm on the run. I got 3 months left. I'm supposed to get off papers in September. I'm trying to lawyer up until I get caught."
It was from those jail phone calls that police got a warrant to track the suspect's phone. And that led police here to New Hampton Gardens.
On Wednesday, police showed up to the apartment complex and arrested the 21-year-old man. On him, court filings say, police found a bag of suspected heroin. In Milwaukee, Bill Miston, Fox 6 News.
Oh, man.
Could have guessed he was going to be a problem from the pictures.
Yeah, these sons are. We don't have a race problem, man. We have a problem with race, man. Jeez, look at this. Look at this shit.
Focus. More news tonight. We're
Jesus
learning new
Christ.
information about a shooting that killed a mother of 6 on Indy's east side. Witnesses tell us it all began with a fight over a basketball hoop.
Oh,
Nine's Max Lewis tells us despite everyone involved being identified, no arrests have been made.
Fight over a basketball hoop.
District 33, possible person shot, 2419 North Kenya Street, more to follow.
Late Friday, this stretch of Kenyon Street near
Midnight
21st in
basketball.
Arlington turned into a crime scene. Neighbors calling it a senseless act of violence.
Females and people are outside shooting, and a female was shot. Caller's not outside, but hears shots and the female screaming. EMS is en route.
Witnesses describing a shootout between neighbors who live across the street
Oh,
from one
Wiggins
another.
in the back.
Bullets went flying into one of those neighbors.
They that's crazy. They live across the street from each other. I mean, I see
One
the
on left
basketball
got jealous
court.
on the right, or maybe it was damaged in the gunfire.
The basketball court is in the
It's
street.
in the street, yeah.
One is here, and then another one is on the other street. So maybe the loud, because niggas. One thing about black folk is that like they don't even think about you.
Nope, they don't even. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You thinking they being rude and disrespectful, but they're not even considering anybody else's feelings at all. But hey, you random as hell. But you remember the glider couple in DC that was letting the little Sunteens. They was letting the little Sunteens play.
Videos, yeah,
bro. That's one of the funniest videos ever, and they beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah, I gotta find that video. I gotta pull that up and let the new people here see that video. That video is everything classic about
Cautionary tale.
Yes.
Didn't they have a baby or something? They're trying to sleep, and these morons are out there playing ball in the middle of the night.
Yeah, the stupid wife is like, go out there and tell them to quiet down instead of like calling the police and crying to them.
Yeah, it was his hoop though. It was the glider's hoop. He let them he let the David Cook kids start playing on it, and then they started taking liberties, and then one day it got too bad, and her daughter was trying to sleep, and the wife was like, "Go out there and tell him to stop playing," and his dumb ass went out there. I'd have been like, baby, because my wife did that when I first got around here, it was some goddamn Dominicans playing these loud ass speakers. You know how Dominicans play loud music when they ride, but this motherfucker was just had the speaker like outside. He took the speaker out of his car, and he was just over there by his car, and he was just blasting the music, and the music was deafening because we don't have insulation in these old houses. Our house was built in the 40s in this city, so it's like this shit was deafening. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter couldn't sleep. My wife was like, "Go out there and tell them to turn that down." I went over there and I was like, "Look, man," I was like, "Hey, man, I got a kid. You know what I'm saying? Can you please turn that down?" And he got a kid too. He said, "I got a kid too." I said, "What?"
Yo, I got a kid, Papi. Yo, I
had a kid, a baby, and I was like, "Yo, how the fuck did you have baby sleep with this fucking noise? Your speaker's right in front of the house. I'm down the street. I can't even think. How did your baby sleep?" He said, "Oh no, my girlfriend took the baby somewhere." I was like, "Oh
man, you just described my childhood, bro. That's how we grow up. With the tuba blasting at the baptism, and we sleeping there.
This was a fucking Thursday or Wednesday at fucking like 11 o'clock in the morning.
It almost feels like that glider should have came out to the Sun kids with an AK-47, right? Hey, do you guys mind? Can you keep it down?
Took it from him. He was a pussy. Here's the thing, though. Sometimes when you're dealing with sons and you got guns, if you ain't ready to fire that motherfucker like Bernie Getz, if you ain't ready to do like Bernie Getz, man, don't bring that gun because they're gonna take it from you.
If you're ready to do the time.
Yeah, he was done from the start. You know the old saying, you give a black a basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullets went flying into one of those neighbors' homes, and the gunfire had a human toll as well, killing Shauna Durst, whose family said would have turned 33 today and leaving 6 children.
Wow, mother of 6. Jeez. Please.
You know what this makes me think? What you said a second ago about the problem race. I'm gonna be honest. It kind of makes me, whenever I hear new guy complain about the Patels, I'm like,
yeah, they're so terrible.
I'm like, somewhere, please. I wish they were our biggest problem, the Patels.
Yeah, this is a problem. Problema.
I mean, the Patels, they stink, right? But some people, their attitude is.
And they stink too. Some people stink too. Well, here's one thing though: is the smell of weed. Like they bring that with them. When you start smelling weed everywhere, you know sons have invaded your city. And I'm talking about that good shit too.
I'd rather the good shit than the bad shit. That's the way all the CTA trains smell.
Yeah, salute to Christy, aka Michael Babe Ruth Jordan, the GOAT, coming through once again. Shout out to Chris.
Yeah, Chicago has like a mix of weed smog with gun smoke, you know?
And piss.
Yeah. Yeah, but blacks. Don't get me wrong. Blacks. We just like he said, man. We just don't consider, like, niggas don't consider that other people might not want to smell weed like all fucking day. They just don't consider it. And this is what I was getting at though. Here's the thing: when you ask a black person something, and they're dead wrong, and you're asking them to like change your behavior, or you're asking them to stop doing something, I mean, they're dead wrong. You gotta be extremely nice about it. You can't show or express your
You
frustration.
better be a real diplomat.
And they might still kill you.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, your frustration and your rightful, justified frustration about whatever antisocial thing they're doing or been doing or you've been putting up with for a long time, and you finally say something about it. If it's a little bit like, if they feel like you pressing them or you being smart or you got a little teensy weensy bit of an attitude, oh man, it's almost as if like they're innocent and you're just fucking with them for no reason.
Well, it goes along with not even considering other people might be concerned with it.
Yeah, but if you're too nice, also they will see you as weak and attack.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
It's a delicate
Jacob.
balance.
What's up, Pan?
How you doing, buddy?
It's a delicate balance.
It is though. Like, yeah, because if you, like you said, if you're too nice, you know, man, bitch ass nigga, get the fuck on before I smack shit out you. Man, get the fuck off my property, bitch ass nigga.
So you have to be nice, but you can't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're saying that's a delicate dance.
Yeah, it's delicate, man, with them too. Yeah, and the thing about it too that most people just can't fathom is that this motherfucker will kill you and go to prison for 30 years and just be in that joint. Like, just be in there, like it just like
Right. Playing basketball, watching TV, doing push-ups, no problem.
This shit just happens.
Yeah, that motherfucker, like, most people think of going to prison for the rest of their life or for 20, 30 years as like a big life event. Something that, you know, just a seminal moment in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Sun, man, it feels like it's just another day, man.
Right.
It's just a rough Thursday.
Sometimes you gotta do time, you feel me?
Yeah.
And you see it every day, Wick. You're staring at these fools in there doing time for 30 years for shit that they could have walked away from.
Well, Bill, that's where you got it wrong. They can't walk away from it.
Yeah, no.
It's my glider IQ fucking up my thought process.
Well, you're better trained to deal with an encounter with a mountain lion than the Sun, probably.
Definitely.
As a glider.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, I know what to do with a mountain lion.
Exactly.
Look at the eyes, act real big. You know, I mean,
There's some logic to it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this look at this woman, man. Look at her friend. Think about this. All these kids are like now like probably gonna go to the fucking foster care or some shit. Cause like the family, if you're a family member, you can't take all of them and keep them together. Like they're probably going to foster care. These kids' life trajectory is just going to be so much
You're
different.
going to get some nice glider parents, foster parents.
Motherless. Neighbors say this basketball hoop in front of her home was the catalyst. Her boyfriend, who was also shot but survived, upset that the basketball kept ending up in their yard. Witnesses told them.
Oh, God.
No. Oh, no.
So it's the boyfriend. It's the son. It's probably, this is probably the only child he's the father of.
A father in the home.
Or not. Or maybe not any of them.
Damn. Man,
And he
that-
probably like a halfway tough guy. You know how niggas is. So he probably like, man, them bitch ass niggas. And then went out there and then got her, and it caused a situation that.
That the ball kept rolling in their yard.
Yo, man, that's a hell of a way to go, man. That's a
telling
hell of.
you,
Look, whenever he woke up on the other side, he must have been like, "Fuck, that's how I went out."
Jesus.
Well, he made it.
Survived.
He survived.
She didn't.
Oh,
She
damn.
did.
Yeah, he
Well,
got her
then.
killed.
Yeah, he gonna move on. He probably thinking about his next bitch.
Like Breonna Taylor. That's what happened. Remember when she died?
Yeah,
He was on the phone with his other
exactly.
bitches in the joint.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he used her for a shield.
Yeah.
And leaving 6 children motherless. Neighbors say this basketball hoop in front of her home was the catalyst. Her boyfriend, who was also shot but survived, upset that the basketball kept ending up in their yard. Witnesses told us he confronted the child, and that's when his mother came out and things got ugly.
There seems to be disturbance between neighbors. One of them tried to run over the complainant and then fired shots.
Neighbors who were too worried to go on camera said it's unclear who fired the first shot. The prosecutor's office didn't respond to our inquiries about whether this is being looked at as a possible self-defense case, as IMPD has identified everyone, but not
This reminds me of
announced
that
any
case in
arrests.
Florida with
Shauna's
the
mother.
woman and the some woman who was banging on her door because she had been complaining about her kids or something.
She's gonna die in jail. That white lady gonna die in jail.
Oh yeah, of course.
She's senseless. Yeah, this one right here, yeah, because he might have had a gun, and the mother of the kid could have had a gun, and yes, damn.
Who lives out of state, believes it was murder. Telling us in a statement tonight, quote, her children and our family will never get to hear her sweet voice after this senseless crime. Her murder left 6 children to learn to live without her. I pray we have justice for my sweet girl, her children, and family. On the east side, Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.
And detectives are investigating and ask anyone with information or video about what happened to this mom to contact IMPD's homicide office.
We know kids don't.
Jeez. God damn. So much.
And police are now investigating after a triple shooting near the canal in downtown Indy. We now know one of the victims is only 18 years old.
That young man's stepfather is now calling on Hoosiers to put down the guns and pick up the conversation
Yes,
instead.
all Hoosiers, put down your guns.
Pick up the conversation. Jesus Christ.
Pick up the thread of the conversation, man.
Man.
They don't even
Everywhere
speak
you
English.
I mean, everywhere you look, it's no jurisdiction where sons like Syracuse, you know, it's a lot of crime. It was a fucking 102 degrees the whole time I was up there. It was fucking so hot I couldn't even fucking leave the fucking hotel barely. But
When it's hot, teens get shot.
yeah, when it's hot, man, niggas just standing around doing nothing. That's the biggest problem. Niggas standing around doing nothing. It should be mandatory. Niggas gotta have something to do. White man, you gotta keep these niggas busy, man.
Yeah, well, we had a system for that back in the day, but
yeah, that's true.
Yo, does drinking liquor count, Ike?
Nah, I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure that
keeping niggas busy.
exacerbates the situation.
I'm talking about keeping niggas busy. Like niggas need to be fucking
Working with their hands somehow.
Yeah, industrious, man. Because I mean, it be when it's a lot of sons standing around doing nothing or riding around doing nothing. That's
Maybe
the
we
worst.
could appoint like one of them to watch over the other ones.
Wait, did you say working with their hands? So what you're saying is no
I mean,
solution?
keep their hands busy.
Yeah, no solutions. What you're saying? What I heard.
Yeah, man, you gotta, cause sons just the way they relate to each other is like it's very brutal. They very brutal towards each other, man. So when you got
Well,
two
even-
young standing around, it's not a good mix.
Even the way you guys look and say hello to each other is aggressive.
Oh yeah, everything's what's up, Nick? And then when they shake hands, it's like
Yeah, it was confusing.
Yeah, the patty cake.
yeah, it's like yo, everything is ultra hyper masculine, ultra aggressive, and yeah, and listen, when you get into something with a son, man, like it does. Son, man, does have a way of making you feel like say you let it go, right? It do make you. Some have a way of making you feel like you would have killed him, like you be regretting not killing him. It's a weird thing, like like the way something make you feel when you having a tense encounter with them, and you like say you take the high road, for instance, right? Or you be the bigger person. They not gonna make you feel good about that. They'll make you feel terrible.
You know, I was telling you about that before. I noticed from watching Sunman that like a lot of these Sunmen are to be killed. You know, they're just begging to be deleted. Huh?
Exactly.
And they gotta deal with each other. They're like, remember that they're like habitual line steppers.
Exactly.
They buy you, they pull your card, and they just begging for you to delete them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's habitual line steppers.
Fox 59's Russ McQuaid shares a stepfather's message as his son recovers.
There's still evidence of crime scene tape along the canal walk, where early Saturday morning 3 people were shot, one of them a juvenile, one of them 18-year-old Michael Bright.
They came up behind him and said something or fired a shot, and when he turned around,
this is the stepfather.
He shot him in the face, dropped him first.
James Dittman was told by his son's friends that their assailants were sitting near the playscape when words were exchanged and the assailants called for backup.
Hey, there's some dudes down here. Y'all get down here. You know, come down to the canal now. As their group walked away, those 2 guys were still there. And from what I'm understanding, they came from the stairs down by the gym because they're
He been to the penitentiary. You can tell.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
How about the shitty tattoos?
Because there's shell casings all through there.
Shell casings and weapons were recovered, and it's assumed a security camera saw it all.
The canal has changed significantly since I've lived here. It's gotten more beautiful during the day and more dangerous during night.
Saturday morning's shooting happened after IMPD off-duty officers ramped up their patrols. The canal is under the oversight of the Department of Metropolitan Development.
So what happens is at night, these movable chairs that DMD allows to be placed out there by the Cultural Trail Foundation get dragged into darkened areas along the canal where folks gather and oftentimes partake in drugs and alcohol. And then those groups tend to get into disturbances with other groups doing the same thing. And then ultimately that, I think, is what's leading to violence. I think it's time for a community conversation about whether we should have a permanent curfew during the summer months along Canal Walk.
Cullen has a meeting.
For curfew, man.
Starting at noon.
Curfew's not enough. You gotta get rid of the chairs.
Yes, no chairs around towns.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't steal them all.
But you do have to get rid of the chairs. Like anything that makes them want to stay. I mean, I know it fucks up for everybody else, but it's just the way it's got to be. You don't want them to stay.
I like the Glick Peace Walk on the canal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe make the chairs look gay or something that keep them away.
Well, listen,
that ain't enough.
I don't know if that works anymore. That was just this new crop of sudden, man. Yeah, damn. Yeah, you don't want anything to make them comfortable, and you gotta literally, you gotta inconvenience everyone. You know what I mean? Just so that they don't. How about this? Well, you could meet us 50-50. Somebody come around at like 6 o'clock as dusk starts to settle and picks up all the chairs and takes them and puts them in like a fucking locker somewhere, and then brings them back out in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So the normal people can enjoy them, and you remove them before sundown so that the fucking sons can enjoy it. That'd be a good thing. I think that might be a step where you could take, but that
You could even automate it by having them like raise and lower from the ground at the appropriate times.
Right.
Yeah, right. Like those.
The alarm sounds, all the chairs start to go down, and the barbed wire goes up around the canal.
Like those posts that show up at the embassy. They come up out of the ground to keep you from getting a car bomb.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got a lot of those in DC.
And why
man.
stop
Yeah.
there? Make the entire city like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you got to do. Because I mean, listen, you don't want them congregating. Because like he nailed it. That white guy, as kind of sassy as this white guy was, he fucking nailed the dynamic though. I gotta give him props.
And get dragged into darkened areas. Movable chairs that DMD allows to be placed out there by the Cultural Trail Foundation get dragged into darkened areas along the canal where folks gather and oftentimes partake in drugs and alcohol. And then those groups tend to get into disturbances with other groups.
Did you see the way he rolled his eyes when he said those groups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's used to dragging, other men into darkened areas and doing some shit. But
oh man,
groups doing the same thing, and then ultimately that I think is what's leading to violence. I think it's time for a community conversation about whether we should have a permanent curfew during the summer months along Canal Walk.
Cullen has a meeting set up with his city county councilors to talk about changes in signage, maybe the rules, maybe moving those chairs in order to curb.
I found the video that you was talking about.
Another curfew.
And signage.
I'm putting the link to this video in the. I should just drop this video as a what do you call it, as a premiere tomorrow, man. That's what I should, but I'm gonna put it in here for people to
the basketball
see.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
Yeah, put it in the private chat too. That one is that video is a classic, man. That video has everything in it, man.
Yeah.
Woo.
Hey, did you see the one that I sent you out that you did about the two guys in Houston, the Umbrito and the Sunman? I sent it to you on Twitter. You asked me to send it to you.
Well, how long ago was it? Like
That
last
was like
week?
3-4 years ago. I sent it to you a couple of days ago, but
Okay.
you did that video like 4 years ago or something. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. Yeah.
That shit was a classic too, man.
Yeah. Man, that's when I used to do like 3-4 videos a day, every single day. All those videos are still up here, man. I gotta just
Yo, remember the one you did on the Sunward in New York City that bit the girl's eyeball?
Oh yeah, at the liquor store because she wouldn't let him pay for his liquor. Yeah, bit her eyeball out. Yeah, definitely. Forgot his name. What's his name? Cooper or something, some shit like that. Yeah, that shit in broad daylight. Like they jumped her and like it was just like broad, like just in a busy New York street, just beat the shit out of that girl and bit her eyeball out.
Right. That's the demographic act that they tell us we're tiptoeing around people back when at some point for some reason.
I have no idea when that was because we can't find that time. Because since the plantations, they've been hitting each other side the head with meat cleavers and axes and shit. So it's like that time, man. Wow.
Man. A teen is being charged as an adult after a shooting right in the heart of downtown.
CBS 4's Jesse Wells has details in
Indianapolis.
reaction to that
Popping off.
decision.
All the windows that were shattered here on the Circle have since been boarded up or replaced. At the same time today, the 16-year-old suspect accused of taking part in that shooting made his initial hearing in adult court. And it turns out it's not the first time the teen has been in trouble with the law.
Oh, word.
This surveillance picture taken early Monday.
That looked like a white kid.
That do look like a white kid.
Morning shows a young man holding a large handgun on Monument Circle. Police believe that gunman fired multiple shots. The shooting shattered a half dozen windows and left 3 people wounded.
It's unacceptable. We won't tolerate that kind of behavior. We remain laser focused on people that come downtown and cause trouble and commit crimes.
While IMPD condemned the reckless behavior this week, they also credited the multiple surveillance cameras on the Circle for helping make a quick arrest of a juvenile suspect. Just a few minutes after the shooting, an IMPD officer holding a picture of the suspect on his phone spotted 16-year-old Terrell Andrews walking away from the circle.
Terrell
and-
Andrews.
glider. We got him.
Terrell Andrews, that's a light-skinned dude, man.
Took him into custody for a felony charge of dangerous possession of a firearm.
I think what needs to happen is true accountability needs to occur. If he is convicted, proven guilty of the crime that's being alleged, he should be held accountable for that.
Indy FOP President Rick Snyder says regardless of their age, repeat offenders need to be held responsible by the court system. In this case, court records show Andrews was previously found delinquent in juvenile court for an illegal weapons possession charge filed last year when he was 15 years old.
The criminal justice system doesn't hold them accountable, slaps them on the wrist, puts them back into the community. They laugh and scoff at this fake system of justice that we have going, and then they run right back out there with another firearm and then are alleged to commit new crimes.
So far, the motive for the shooting on the circle remains unclear because the teenage suspect refused to speak to police despite his father encouraging him to talk. Finally, the suspect is now being held on a $6,000 cash bond that would include GPS monitoring if he's able to post that amount. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
Maybe he is light skinned.
Not for nothing. We know his daddy's not a lawyer.
Terrell is a light-skinned dude, man. Ain't no white boy named Terrell, man.
Oh, Jarrell.
Terrell. Have you
either
known
way.
him? I don't know.
Any of the above.
Did you see Carmelo Anthony's plea for self-defense got denied?
Yeah, I told you that. You can't just say you can't just say self-defense. You have to prove that. If that was the case, everybody would just say they self-defense when they kill somebody. It was that easy. This was the Carmelo Anthony incident was just I could see how somebody could say that's a psyop, even though we know it's not, because it just was so crazy. He literally brought a knife to a fucking track meet, killed a kid. Fucking the father of the kid goes out, kisses black people's asses from here to across the street, gets branded a racist, gets kicked out of the fucking meeting. He gets fucking his house gets swatted 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just.
I mean, if you ask the average black person, it was like him and his brother showed up in Klan hoods, said "Get that," and run him down with the truck. And then he had to pull out the knife.
Definitely. I mean, black people to this day, you gotta understand when the misinformation affects the black community, right? They never get doing from you know what I'm saying? Whatever they're told the first time. That's it. They don't understand investigations,
and then more false information compounds upon that.
Yeah, they don't understand investigate. They don't understand if a cop shows up on the scene and he sees 2 dead people, and let's say it's another dead person in the attic and another dead person staggered off and died in the bushes, behind the house. The cop comes on to the TV and says, or the spokesman for the police department, we have 2 murdered here. And then later on they say it's 4. Oh man, something fishy about this shit, man.
Something not right here.
Something ain't right. They don't understand that it just could have been that. It always gotta be some spooky shit with them.
Saddens us to see that this is my future generation coming up. This is what we're gonna have to look forward to. And I don't want to have to look.
Yeah, fucking 75 years old with the tag still on the hat.
This dude looks like a violence interrupter.
Fresh to death or what?
I'm telling you, man. Grow up, man.
This a YN for sure.
I'm telling you.
Always a YN at heart.
Shit. Hey. Come on.
Well, the other guy shot up a shopping.
This is my future generation.
The other guy shoots up a shopping center. What did he hit? 3 people, and they gave him a $6,000 bond.
Yep.
So here's proposed $600. This is my future generation coming up. That this is what we're gonna have to look forward to, and I don't want to have to look forward to that. So it's my job and y'all's too to help us get the next generation together.
Us too.
Police believe the people shot and killed in Pitcairn this afternoon are teenage boys, and neighbors say the violence has to stop. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Josh Taylor, in tonight for Jessica Guay. Allegheny County Police are in charge of the investigation, and KDKA's Ricky Sayer is live at County Police Headquarters with the latest on the victims and the search for suspects. Good evening, Ricky.
Good evening, Josh. We're still waiting to learn from the medical examiner the names of the victims who died here. And so far, county police also haven't said if they have made any arrests here in this case. They do believe that this was an isolated incident.
Shaheed Carswell has been focused on keeping young people in his community out of trouble.
The last thing I'm going to do is see one of these kids get shot.
Thursday, it's not what he
just
saw,
what
but what he heard that raised red
What do you think
flags.
the last thing you're gonna do?
We heard like 10 to 12 shots leaving out the house.
They came from Shaw Alley near Wood Street, where evidence markers sat scattered.
Children cross the street and catch the bus right here. Even in the summertime, there's still school active around here. And to have a homicide right here is a tragic thing for our neighborhood in Pitcairn.
Another neighbor told us they saw 3 teenagers running from the scene, getting in a car, and another teenager who appeared to have been shot on the ground in the alley.
I'm looking at the parents right now because these are juveniles and we have to bury another kid.
Police believe both people who were shot were teenage boys.
Any death is tragic, and it hits home more when it's a juvenile.
Allegheny County Police Sergeant Todd Dolphy told us both victims were pronounced dead at local hospitals.
I don't believe that there's any threat to the public at this time. We believe this to be an isolated incident from the preliminary information that we have.
It saddens me because these kids in this neighborhood don't really have too much activities to do besides gang violence. And if you look at it right now, they're playing Call of Duty.
That's so crazy.
What about like sidewalk chalk or some shit? I mean, like, come on.
That's so crazy, and that's such a there's nothing to do.
So we got a gangbang now. There's no other. I mean, shit, nothing to do.
And the impetus of something to do is on the white man, the city, the social services to create something for them to do. So when he says that, that's a shot at the white man.
Yep.
I grew up in a tiny mountain town, and we all had guns at home. We never went out and like shot people or.
Well, yeah, because you had stuff to do, Yakub. You had stuff to do.
Yeah, sure.
You had stuff to do, like homework.
There was nothing to do. We were just hanging out.
Yeah, this whole thing he's saying is literally pointing his finger at and holding like the establishment or the city, or you know what I'm saying?
Gliders. I mean, the establishment. Is that the gliders like?
Exactly. Accountable for what happened, and he's saying, and you hear him kind of like bigging himself up, like I ain't gonna let nobody. Like, how many fucking kids bro been shot in this neighborhood?
Don't really have too much activities to do besides gang violence. And if you look at it right now, they're playing Call of Duties with themselves. It's not just in this neighborhood.
There were young kids all around the scene. One kept asking us if we knew the name of who died. Carswell said it's time the community comes together to make sure this doesn't shake their children.
Because the children are going to need us now more than ever.
And police are asking anyone who may have seen what happened or captured it on security video to please reach out to them. Reporting live at County Police Headquarters, Ricky Sayer, KDK TV News.
Ricky, thank you.
You know, that guy would be more credible if he wore a propeller hat.
Yeah, I was thinking there was something. I couldn't stop watching the tag flutter in the wind.
Right. It's crazy.
Wow.
Fucking black mini pearl out there.
Yo, I recently read Negroes in Negroland, and man,
you read the whole book?
Yeah, I mean, damn, it was a true eye opener. Already thought.
Hold on, how did you absorb all that? Like, how do you digest all of that?
It's his favorite topic.
No, but how long did it take you to read that book? Honestly, man, tell me, because we go excerpts. We do excerpts, and it's just so graphic and so.
I know. I mean, I had to stop. I had to take a break and just digest the information. It was. I thought I had sounds figured out, but this was like a true eye opener. It was like the missing puzzle piece to bring it all together.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
Especially chapter 3, where they describe sisters as the most violent and cruel. And then the part about the human meat markets, that blew my mind. I couldn't believe what I was reading was incredible. But it all makes sense now. Like, these people were like this, like 150 years ago, maybe.
Yeah,
200 years
it wasn't that long ago.
No, they were like that 65 years ago.
I mean, some of them still are. If you look at some parts of Africa, they still have like cannibalism going on.
Yeah, but we're talking about like you run in that time. You're talking about the 1850s or whatever. You run into a random village. It's like a 90% chance they're selling fucking human meat in the fucking market.
They have legs there and heads displayed and all. And imagine all the flies on the meat and smell and stench.
Well, the fact that they have markets is kind of impressive. Give them some credit, right?
Man, they get tired of having mosquito burgers every day.
Yeah. And I wonder what they used as payment methods. Was like seashells or something?
Some shit on Bengals or some shit. But
I mean, they don't even have markets today out here.
That's true.
All of the
that's fact.
The markets are foreigners or like people that are not from Blackistan.
Yeah, that's true. But they weren't from Blackistan either. But this is I couldn't listen. I couldn't read that whole book cover to cover, man. I have enough trouble just with excerpts, man, where I'm just like, yo, this shit is insane, man.
Yeah. The part for me that I thought was crazy was when they described the slaves, I think at the White House or some shit like that, where he was walking up to the door, and as he was walking up, he was looking at the slaves and he was describing the imminent necessity to get rid of them. Like he was describing them physically, but he was explaining that it's not the free labor is not worth them being there.
That was the original plan, though, like to send them back. That's why they created Liberia. So yeah, that was the original plan to send them back. But that would have been kind of cold. Like bring us over here, work us definitely send us back. That'd be kind of cold if you think about it. Maybe God was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna let you do that."
Didn't the Liberians go over there and enslave the
locals,
Africans there?
Within like a few years too.
Yeah, they went and rounded up all the jungle bunnies and
they were dressing like the gliders, the antebellum gliders. It's creepy if you think about it, bro.
Yeah, immediately started enslaving the blacks, man.
My favorite line from Negroes in Negroland is we behold the crime-stained blackness of the Negro.
Yeah, this is I listen. Some of that stuff, man. It just like the human sacrifice, like the wanton disregard, like life meant nothing. We think life means nothing to the average 17 on the street now. But before, getting like absorbed into the modern society, they were just like out there in the bush. Probably never read a word, never seen a symbol that meant anything, never added a number, never digested, a philosophy or a theory.
Never drew a map.
You know what I'm saying? And they just was out there. Life meant nothing.
Yeah, cool. It kind of makes you it puts into perspective that this society might not be like for them, right? Like
No,
they're
not
out
at
of
all.
place.
I mean, not even in the slightest. It's
Yakub, I feel like you would have been one of those like Germanic white men with like long mustache beards going to Africa in 1850 to like sail down the river and study them like some fucking
with the mustache
Heart of Darkness shit.
Yeah. That's not far
As soon as
fetched.
quinine was invented, your ass would have been over there with the celerity.
I just went on a canoe trip on Sunday.
I mean, the fact that these Sun people didn't immediately murder these gliders that would go in there, it makes you wonder why didn't they kill them?
Well, they did a lot of times, and here's the thing too: a lot of gliders a lot of gliders didn't go into the deep parts of Africa because of the malaria, sleeping disease. So they just stayed on the coast as much as they could. And also when you're a glider too, like your clothes, somebody got a thing, your technology, your countenance, just your demeanor, the way you behave. You have a hat, you have clothes, you have a musket, you have a maybe you have a seeing glass, maybe you have a flask. All
Metal
these
knife.
things to somebody running around with fucking paint on their face and a fucking dick swinging and shit with a goddamn spear in their hand made out of wood. To
Bone
that
in their lip.
person, yeah, to that person, you're better than them. They see
Their curiosity.
I mean, they just got to think you're a higher order of being.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
think
but I
you're an
can't imagine these
astronaut.
people cared. I can't picture them caring about what you just said.
Listen. If I can fucking show you a piece of glass or a glass cup, like just take a glass out of your fucking cabinet one day and just think about somebody who never seen anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gotta be fucking remarkable, man.
You did.
What about yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, you did watch the video. I think around in the 70s, some gliders went to some jungle in Africa and made contact with a Sun tribe that never seen anybody else. And they saw the matches, and they were like mesmerized by the matches. And then they brought some rice and salt, and like they went crazy when they tasted the salt.
Yeah,
Like, to them it was like alien technology. Just the matches alone was like.
A match would blow a fucking 16th century white man's brains, man.
Yeah. Man, so to them, some people must have been like a match made in heaven. Yo, and I think Hot Black would agree with me when I say this, right? As different as all the groups are from each other, right? The Tigers, the Umbritos, the pre-Umbritos, the Patels, right? Sandman. As different as they all are, it just almost feels like some people are a different species, man. Don't it? Am I wrong for saying that?
No, I'm saying we are. I mean, we definitely are, man. You know what I'm saying? We are different than everybody. No one's like us. Like they're starting now that you got a lot of Indians coming here, black people trying to say, oh, they're the same as us because of melanin, and like no.
Those sub-Saharan Africans have between 13 and 20% Cro-Magnon DNA in them, whilst gliders and tigers have more.
I thought you was a Cro-Magnon.
Apparently, I am. But gliders and tigers have more. What's it called again?
Neanderthal.
Yeah, Neanderthal. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, and they had a good diet of like raw wolves when they were eating them in the mountains and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so is it fair to say? Because I know they said the Neanderthals were defeated by the Homo sapiens. Could that be to some people? Like?
Nah. I wonder who y'all mated with, who y'all absorbed. Y'all Umbritos over here in the New World.
The pre-Umbritos or the Umbritos?
The pre-Umbritos, yeah.
I mean, I always heard they came from Asia, right, or something like that.
Right, and it does look like it because y'all short and y'all that
I see similarities.
Yeah, the hair is very much the same. Like you can count every hair in a fucking Umbrito's head. if he's a true Umbrito.
Yeah, my shit is bone straight.
Yeah, so it's like
the
same thing with Asians, man. And then the stout, the size, even though Asians, because of population, they have a lot of people that are tall, but that's just because there's 1 billion of them. But yeah, the typical size of an Asian is very short and stout, and the size of an Umbrito is short and stout. And then but their IQs are so much higher than yours.
The tigers?
Yeah, like
depends on what
it's like
tigers, right?
y'all left your IQ over there when y'all crossed the bird.
But it depends on what tigers, right? Because there's tigers out there that are they're savages.
And then it got really complicated when the Ombritos went back over there and mixed up with like the Pacific tigers.
Well, that was the Spanish. That was the gliders.
Yeah, but I bet you that some people from Mexico made it over there too.
Right. I heard the Mexicans are over there now moving drugs.
Wasn't some like lily white Spaniards doing everything over there?
Man, I wouldn't be shocked if it was. But I mean, as far as some people, man, they're just captivating, man. Like I was hearing Tariq Nasheed talking, right? And I'm wondering, like, what is it? Because he's fast on his feet, but I was thinking, I think a strength of some men is they don't have facts don't matter, right? So you could literally say whatever, and
it doesn't matter.
They say it with such
Nothing
confidence.
matters, though. Nothing matters.
But what I'm saying is, as he's talking and he's quick on his feet, responding, throwing like facts that are not that accurate, but it doesn't matter that they're not. I'm just trying. Some people are interesting. I mean, violence and all, right? Let's be honest. Even Yakub that talks all this shit, right? You gotta admit, Yakub, some people are entertaining. Something.
Oh yeah, it's like watching an unknown animal sometimes.
Like it's kind of it's like a train wreck, like a burning train wreck.
Like having a pet rattlesnake.
I don't know what it is, Chief, but it almost feels like some people are a different species, man. I feel bogus saying that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
We have different sounds. We have like the original sounds from Africa here in Europe, and some of them, there's a asylum home not far from here, and I see some of these guys, and I mean, they look like straight from like 1,000 years ago, like.
Mm-hmm.
They all wear flip-flops, and the way they walk really slow, and you can tell there's nothing going on in their heads. They're just there. I mean, they live in the moment, right? There's they can't think ahead or anything.
There's no forethought. There's
no deeper thinking going on.
There's
Some
nothing.
of them
It's shallow as fuck. It's just like
they're
what
just
you see, what you get. There's like
it's just there, and they're just existing.
It's like a big bowl of sad, like all the trauma. There is trauma.
These two got a lot to say,
I'm telling you, he go hard, man. But
write a thesis on this.
Yeah, but a lot of those people that you're probably seeing are probably very on a very low end of the IQ thing.
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
understand, man,
very low.
Being in white society raises your IQ. Like, for instance, reading, white IQs have raised OD. Because think about reading. Think about learning how to read when you're a little kid. Think about reading and doing math every day, going to a place, having a schedule, knowing time, a clock, and how the different lines on the clock, the hand where it does. These different things you're processing every day in white society. Stop signs, red, go, this, that, third, elevator, up, down, all these different things you process, and those things strengthen your channels in your brain, and the grooves in your brain, and make you smarter. A lot of the people you're seeing and from Africa, those people grew up in fucking villages and shit, where the most crazy thing they've ever seen is like a fucking a cattle or a goat, or or something maybe somebody got a NBA championship shirt for the runner-up and shit, or these people are fucking, they've never massaged their brain, they've never exercised their brain the way we have. And now they're adults, and this shit is set in stone. And it's just, you just got some big African ogre in your city and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's then you got 1,000 of them, and they're all together just milling around.
And then they're picking up glider queens on breeders. It's just like boggles the fucking mind, man.
If one thing he knows is primal shit, right? So like sex,
Breeding.
breeding, fighting, you know what I mean, eating, things like that. That stuff is just human nature. So yeah, like he sees a girl, he likes her, he might go up to her and try to talk to her. You know what I'm
Throw
saying?
his dick around his neck and.
But you would think that these women would know better, you know?
Oh, they're
that makes
exotic.
sense.
Uh,
But I
women
mean,
are
you would think
dumb.
that, for example, the glider queens, right? Their men have built. Some of their men have built impressive societies, right? You would think that they would instinctively recognize that, but
Yeah,
they
but
don't.
schooling overrides that shit. Like literally,
Yeah.
Now,
like
women are obsessed with the exotic, everything that makes them stand out from the crowd, because women are so obsessed with attention and
But also
exotic stuff.
indoctrination, Yakub. You should see the indoctrination they got going on.
Yeah, part of it sure is indoctrination, but it's mainly just attention. You know, when they have like a black boyfriend, it makes them stand out, and now they're like different from the other girls, and then you know they're also more virtuous because they have this pet Negro.
oh wow, you think that's really a thing?
Oh yeah, it's a fetish for sure.
Really, you don't think that the Sun Man could just be, swagged out? Like, I mean, like there could be just like because I believe that the rawness of a Sun Man, the boldness of a Sun Man is something that a woman it's hard for a woman to resist. Like somebody that'll come up to you.
No, when I see mud sharks here in Europe, you can tell by the way they walk around and parade their son boyfriend around. You know, like they have this arrogant.
Yeah, it's like the first girl on the block with a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not that smooth, that guy.
No, but I no listen. But I mean, I'm a Sun Man, so I mean, like I've lived a Sun Man life, and I do know that like when I do talk to white women and like my nature, it's like white men don't give them what I give them. White men are kind of reserved and austere, you know what I mean, and
I
centered.
understand. And then some women want to be hit over the head and drugged by their hair back to the campfire, you know?
Or just told, like you pursued and told, like about like, ah, damn, girl, you fat ass, or you thighs, or they want to be what's the word, objectified. You know what I mean? They want to be objectified. Some men will objectify you. You know what I'm saying? And they want to be made to feel like a woman, like in their place. A Sun Man will like put you in you because a woman instinctively knows this is a creature that will kill me. This is a creature that will dominate me. And that speaks to a woman's soul. You know what I mean? That kind of puts her in her place a little bit. It makes her more feminine, you know?
And that goes into the exotic thing too.
Yeah, I mean, all these women are liberal women, and liberalism is like a virus to your mind. It corrupts you completely, and it goes against your nature, right? So they can't be feminine because that's a bad thing. If you're feminine as a woman, you have to be a boss babe and all that. And as you said, the Sun Man will check that a little bit and allow her to be a bit more feminine, because just by him being more masculine and more of a brute.
Yeah, exactly. Brutish, because
That's what I meant.
brutishness is in a society where her male counterpart buttoned up and overthinking everything. He might like her, but he not the right time. You can't say it this way. And fucking Ooga Booga just comes up and said, I like you. Well, I date. Me, you date. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Me, you date. I take you coffee. You like coffee? I get you coffee. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and the fucking Brad's been liking, she's been in love with Brad since like 7th grade. He still hasn't said anything to her. And it's like, this Ooga Booga saw her 2 seconds ago and he's in her face now.
Yeah, you know what? Women also, they really like getting lied to, you know?
Oh yeah, love lies. Lies. Listen, lies are literally like when they say they don't like lies. That's just like when they say I like a guy with a nice personality, or I like a nice guy. It's the exact opposite. Women love being lied to, and the Ooga could say, "Yes, I hear. I'm a doctor in my old country," and I see, what I'm saying. And it's like, he could tell her, or he has a job in construction, you know what I'm saying, or like, listen, and she wants to believe it because that justifies her sleeping with him. And she probably couldn't sleep with him if he didn't have a job and if he was just a fucking, bum back in his old country. But if he tells her the lie that he comes from the tribe, his father was the king of the tribe. I bet you every fucking white woman in Europe is dating a prince. She thinks, what I'm
From
saying?
Nigeria.
Somebody who's somebody.
If there's one thing all men throughout history and all cultures would agree upon, it's that women don't know what they want. They don't know what they like.
No.
They say one thing, but they want the opposite, right?
Yeah.
It's always been like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to protect them from themselves.
Exactly. We have to protect them from themselves, and that's our duty, man. Great show, guys, man. Check for him tomorrow, man. Try to, a little earlier tomorrow, man.
Yeah. Hey, Yakub, by any chance, do y'all have any room in Slovakia? Maybe you could take some of these Sunmen for us.
No, we're full. There's no more
No,
space.
man. You could use some diversity over there.
No. Thanks for the offering, but you can keep the
And
diversity.
you get to see them up close,
No, it's okay. You can keep them. Like, thanks for the offer, but we decline respectfully.
Well, how about this? Think about it, all right? Just
all right.
Just sleep on it.
You were thinking it was a choice.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for having me on.
Same Black Channel. I'm out of here.
Have a good one.
Salute the boy Kachina, man. Oh shit, I didn't even see these. Salute the boy Kachina. Salute to Not Jimmy Stewart, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate you coming through.